Call the January 20th, 2025 Polk City Planning and Zoning Commission meeting to order. Roll call.
Here. Bowers-House. Here. Pregnant. Here. Vogel.
Here.
Olfest. Here. Vanowski.
Here. Item 3, approval of the agenda. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Item 4, approval of P&Z Commission meeting minutes for December 16th, 2024. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Item 5, high-density residential parking regulations. Your report?
So for the commission's consideration tonight is a draft ordinance update reflecting last meeting's discussion, or at least our takeaways from it. A few items of note, I have updated in your packets that the tabulation we put together to kind of show you what the ultimate effects of this are. So under the previous regulations, 330 unit apartment complex with a mixture of 1, 2, and studio apartments would require 726 parking stalls. Under this new requirement, it would be 561 if you counted a half stall of the garages towards each, or towards the overall parking count. For 100, oops, I have a typo on those. Those should not match, but the 170 would be reduced. And I think we had achieved the intention that we discussed last time. Justin, I went back and rewatched the video, and the word you used is upper middle. I think with this new regulation, we sit right in there in the upper middle of the metro communities that we reviewed. So specifically, the changes that we're proposing to the ordinance are for every garage stall provided, it counts towards that one garage stall required by code for all apartments under 3 bedrooms. And then it also counts a half stall towards the overall parking requirement. The parking requirement total will still be calculated the same way. It'll just be, instead of providing, the 396 stalls and the 330 stalls, the 330 stalls would count towards, what would that be, 165 of those parking stalls. I think it kind of cuts down on the pavement. I think it brings us more in line with the rest of the metro communities. And I think it still meets the intent of what we as staff took away from the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting last time, of you still want those garage spaces provided. We still want to have visitor spaces in excess of what we require for those regular units, but we also want to kind of help cut down on the excess parking, those oceans of pavement that we're trying to avoid. I've also detailed in my memo that in reviewing last month's commission meeting, we did understand that you guys wanted to modify the architectural standards related to accessory buildings and group parking buildings. We understand that is not part of this ordinance. We're still doing a little bit of research, but we've made some progress in making contact with the city of Grimes and understand specifically the apartment complex we were discussing last time on 141 that has the variable roof lines, the architecture, the colors, all those kinds of things. We understand how that was administered. We're just doing a little bit more research just so that we can present you guys with a more polished ordinance update. So that will be forthcoming in the coming months, but we wanted to get this out in front of you so that we can get these parking regulations updated early so that we are not trying to rush it in as we work into the new development season. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys have, facilitate a conversation if there's specific questions that you guys have on this stuff. So there's a typo in those. In that, actually, what the typo is the first line is higher. So, the first line should be, for your guys' packets, it would be 220 on the first line and 110 on the first line of the third scenario. So instead of 170 in line one of the 100-unit complex total, that's 220. And then for the 50-unit complex total, it would be 110 instead of 85. The second lines are correct. It looks like I drug a cell too far in Excel is what happened.
Like that met the request and they're very clear, so.
Did you talk to?
We did. So this has come up due to, what's the development south of
Allure.
Ridge? Allure at Saylorville, sorry, I was drawing a blank there. They brought it to our attention. We spent significant time looking into it and felt like he was correct that our regulations were pretty high. This has come up on another development though recently, and I think that we'd like to try to get ahead of it. However, the issue has been, well, the development comes to us and Polk City's not had experience with that particular development. So we ran into a similar issue with the daycare up on East Vista, Lake Ave. The parking requirements for daycares were significantly higher than all the others. So we took a look at it, agreed that our regulations were high, and kind of followed the same suit with this. Brought it to you all to see if you had interest in adjusting, but it is for the multifamily development south of Antler Ridge.
And they seemed.
They see, I mean, obviously they'd want it.
More or less,
Yeah,
obviously, but
yeah.
Yes.
But we feel comfortable too, moving forward, that this is a sustainable, not a bandage on a bullet hole kind of situation. It's something that's more suitable for larger, and that's kind of why we looked at the 50 unit, the 100 unit, how do we compare, how did those lay out? So that we could get an idea of how comfortable we were with this regulation. And we feel good about it at multiple sizes.
It's also our understanding that Planning and Zoning Commission really wants to get away from PUD projects. And, if we have applicable regulations for some of these projects, we can try to steer developers away from that.
And so I guess that's a good point too, in the way that we separated it. We're essentially mirroring the way that the townhomes are with those different classifications to carry those through. And we tried to write it clearly so that it's very clear how we're administering it, so there's not a lot of interpretation to happen. Not currently in the process. As we mentioned, Allure at Saylorville, they've indicated to us that they're working on their preliminary plat. So that would be something that this would impact, but it's not something that we're gonna have to retroactively or somehow, some way, retrofit something in.
I think it's good that they brought up what they see as an issue, and we looked at it, and everybody together kind of figured out a way through it that, yeah, probably was. Okay. No public comment, obviously, from the crowd. Is there anything?
Right next to the residential park.
Roll call?
Bowersox? Yes. Prickens? Yes. Vogel?
Yes.
Olfest?
Yes.
Van Alstine?
Yes.
All right. Item 6, reports and particulars. Liaison?
I'll go then. Hey, well, good evening, everybody. Happy New Year. We're just in, obviously, a few weeks. We've just had the one council meeting. So I only have a couple items of note I wanted to bring to everyone's attention, allow you the opportunity to ask any questions you have. First off, the Historical Society has reached out to the city regarding some requests for some repairs since the city is the, what are we?
Owner.
Owner of the property. I was trying to find the, so some cosmetic and some more functional structural type of repairs. Unfortunately, being halfway through the budget year, we're looking for opportunities in our fiscal year 26 to be able to address them. That's a good segue into this Friday. We have our yearly budget planning for the upcoming fiscal year, which is a multi-hour session where we get to go through and make all the fun decisions with staff and try to determine where everybody's revenue goes. Other than that, those are probably the two highlights that I had. I wanted to share with if you had any questions for me. Stay warm.
Appreciate the update.
Yep.
City manager?
Just a reminder that the city observes President's Day as a holiday now, so we will not be meeting Monday, February 17th. We'll be meeting Tuesday, February 18th. We will get the calendar invitation adjusted. And then we have been trying to work on a dual session between the Planning and Zoning and City Council to talk about the whitetail alignment project. So we do have that scheduled for Monday, March 10th at 5 p.m. So please make sure that you have that down on your calendar as well. All I have.
All right, thank you. Staff? Maybe not? Commission? Adjourn.